All right. Um, okay, welcome back everyone to another episode of Denial in the City. I'm here with Sarah Saletta for the Autumn. Do you want to say hi to the girls and all the men that have ever wronged me? Just kidding.
Hello to all the girls.
You want to give everyone an intro by
Sure.
yourself?
My name is Sarah Shanchuri, Sarah El Shanchuri, and I am a Central Regional Manager for a national nonprofit here, headquartered in Dallas. I'm also a runner, and I have twin daughters that are 16 years old.
It's great. Well, we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
All right, let's just get into it because I know you probably have a lot you want to talk about. So I talked a bit before with a friend about like green and red flags when it comes to guys with dating, but I wanted to hear about your experience because you're in a different city, different pool of people, but maybe let's just talk a bit about kind of we can start with like the red flags and then kind of go back and forth.
Okay. Men that are rude to wait staff is probably my number one red flag and pet peeve. Honestly, men or women, but yeah, if I notice a guy when we're out on a date and he's like rude to wait staff or like cocky or something, I'm like immediately like that's a red flag. That's the number one red flag that I would not like settle for.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't settle for that if anyone does that. Is this like, have you experienced this on the first, second date or?
I have, and it's like a turn off.
Completely
It's
turned you off.
a complete turn off. Yeah,
So like deal breaker,
deal
like
breaker.
never calling again.
Probably blocking it.
Oh, wow. You know, I've always said this because I worked in the service industry. I really think everyone should have one job in the service industry at some point in their life, so they like have some respect for people.
But do you feel like they have to be like in the service industry to have respect?
I mean, it would help.
Yeah.
But no, not necessarily. I think just being kind to people
It's like a
bare minimum.
right.
Yeah. Also, in these scenarios, was the guy paying for the meal? Or was he rude and then not paying?
Rude and not paying.
Okay, see, that's even worse.
Yeah,
All right.
That's the worst possible situation could be in.
No, I actually agree with
And
that.
it's not just my meal; it's his meal too. So it's like real tacky.
Yeah, that's very tacky. What else?
Gosh, that was a horrible one to start with, but that has happened to me.
Yeah,
and another red flag would be double standards, having double standards, like especially in the Arab culture. I feel like you find that some men can, not all, and I don't want to generalize, but I find like that there's like seems to be some sort of a double standard with men and women, and I find that as a complete turnoff.
What are some like examples though?
Let's see.
Or list them all out. We have all day.
I don't know. I feel like being divorced and having children, a lot of times you find that men they overlook you, especially when you've already been married and have kids. But like men that are divorced and have kids, they seem to they go after, the ones that have never been married, and I find it
no, that's actually a valid one too. I met a lot of guys that were divorced, and I think that was like a similar sentiment where they were trying to go for like they could exclude that
like we're people
population.
Yeah. I'm a person too.
And the two that you've talked about, are they specific to Arab guys or?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Sorry. Okay, the data has proven it. All right. What's another
red flag? Another red flag I would say is not being ambitious. Like I find like men that are like okay with like just status quo in their life, or just like don't have big dreams, and you don't have to be like a doctor or a lawyer or like something really, but just always working towards improving yourself. And I find it a red flag when someone's like, okay, settling with just wherever they are in life. Like wherever you are in life, you can always improve and get better. Doesn't matter what level of career you have or level of success or not. There's always room for us to, as long as we're here, to keep improving our lives. And a guy that's okay. Honestly, it's not in a situation that I've like come across a lot. I'm just saying like in general that I find that to be a red flag for a man.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a valid red flag too. Me and my friends talk about that all the time. Like, doesn't matter what industry you're in or like what phase you are in your life. It's just nice to like meet someone, that's like constantly trying to push themselves, has goals, isn't just kind of stagnant in life.
Absolutely.
I mean, like I could be stagnant, but I don't want them to be. Okay. So just kind of like talking a bit about some more like upfront red flags when you're like using the apps? What are some that like jump out at you when you're swiping through?
So I don't like the apps, but I like the apps when I'm bored. So,
Yeah.
but when I'm looking on the app, I think probably the biggest red flag is like you're constantly swiping based on appearances first, right?
Mm,
But if you're
yeah.
swiping and there's no content except for just, especially pictures of just like thirst trap pictures, and there's no like
The
body.
guys posting thirst
Oh
traps?
yeah,
okay.
all the time, all the
Yeah.
time. And I'm just like, it's not cute, and you don't have any like content to talk about your like about yourself.
Yeah.
I find that to be like a red flag because it's like you don't have anything else to add other than the way you look. Like that's thank you next.
No, one of the like it for me it's like the lack of content, but also like even if it's like nothing else, everything else is fine, but it could be one comment that just
Yes.
throws it off. One time I was swiping on one of the apps and I came across this guy and his his pictures were fine, looked like he had like a decent job, seemed like a good person, or he seemed like an okay guy. But then he had this comment that said, "If you're interesting, I'll be interested." And I was like, "Oh my god, like get out of
Annoying
here!"
and weird.
Yeah, I mean, like that energy just is so obnoxious. So maybe let's ease up on them a little bit. What are some green flags? Something that really stands out when you like see like a profile in an app or like you meet a guy out at an event outside, concert, party.
I like a man to be confident. I
Mm,
think that is the most attractive like thing about a man, like about a person to be confident. I think confidence makes you, even if you are a 7, makes you a 10, or if you're a 10, if you don't have confidence, you're bumped down to like 5, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
a guy that's confident but not cocky.
Yeah, I was gonna say because
Yeah, there's a line. There's a
kind of
fine
like
line.
offers, yeah. I seem to like meet more of like the cocky ones
Yeah.
for no reason. I'm like the
I'm like-
meanie, like but love that. No, and then like sometimes when I'm talking, like my confidence when I'm talking to a guy, my confidence comes out like super quick, and you kind of joke around about it, like where does this come from? It's definitely like I don't want to say fake confidence, but sort of just kind of like playing the part in the beginning. But with guys, I feel like it's more like authentic. It's like they either are or they aren't. You can tell very easy in the beginning.
So true. So
Um,
true. I think
person.
also on off of the confidence topic, a guy that's not intimidated by my confidence.
Mm,
I think that's important for a man to be confident in his confidence, but also confident in me being like, I don't have to be his shadow. I don't want to be anyone's shadow.
right.
And I don't like a man to be like super confident, but then they want me to just like walk behind them. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you've talked about pretty valid things. Nothing you've said is like
Totally
crazy
wild.
or like off the cuff or anything. And if you feel personally victimized by any of this, then you're probably the problem. So,
True.
but
Green flag for me is somebody that takes care of their, like, your body is your temple. So I like a man to work out. I like a man to take care of himself, like not just mentally and spiritually, but also physically, because God gave you a body and you're supposed to take care of it. It's part of your ibada.
right.
So I think that I want somebody that's equally as athletic as me, if not more. So it's a green flag when I find a guy that's like in the gym, but not like a gym rat, who likes to stay active, run, play basketball, all of those things. Like, I think that's attractive.
So then with that, I'm assuming you put yourself in situations where you can find, like, you can potentially find guys like that, whether it be running clubs or events.
I would say I do. It's not been my luck that I found anyone that way, but I've definitely met great people along the way in being in those activities.
Right.
Haven't met my spouse just yet or anyone to date, but it's definitely, that is how I want to meet somebody. I'd rather do that versus being on the app. I mean, my dream is to be in the grocery store one day and run into the love of my life, like just randomly.
Right. What would you be getting?
What?
Do you ever think about that? Like,
What would
play that scene out. You meet the love of your life. What are you getting from the store?
What am I getting from the store? Definitely not pads. Definitely. I think that would be the ideal situation. Maybe he walks up to me and be like, did you want wings or no wings? Do you want me to help you find them? Like, that would be like my dream. Like, okay, he's a winner.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, like, ideally, I think that's everyone's hope. No one chooses to be on the apps, really.
No.
I mean, like, I don't, you don't, but
I mean, I do it because I'm like, okay, well, I haven't met anyone. Let me go back on the apps. But then I go back on and I'm just like, I'm literally swiping left, always swiping left, because I'm like, you're just a nice person to look at, but other than that, there's no substance to your profile, and I'm sure there's no substance to you in real life too. So I'm like, not even gonna waste my time.
Yeah, no, I find it's honestly one of the most exhausting things. I always like end up like deleting them for a few months and then like re-adding them. It's exhausting. You see the same people on, and it's like, oh, we're both still here, and it's like you don't want to judge because it's like you're still on there too, but it's also like, come on, buddy, you haven't found anyone yet, like.
And I do think the apps, they do something with the algorithm. I really do believe that. I have friends that have met online and they've been in the same city for years and they never swiped on that, never saw them on their profile until like recently. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they've literally been on the apps the same amount of time as their partner, but somehow by coincidence, they ended up finding each other on the apps. But like they've both been on the apps, and I think they do something with the algorithm. It's like they want you to get like the premium membership for you to see everybody.
And I even tried the premium stuff.
Like, I've never gone that extreme. I've only gone like to the gold, which is like the next level from free.
Oh, okay.
I like free things and I don't even want to pay for the membership. No. But I went on, I'm like, okay, now you're telling me I have to wait a whole day before I can swipe again. Like, okay, I'll finally get the
And
gold.
you know what they do, right? I mean, I think this was like a lawsuit from, I think Match.com owns one of the apps, and basically it was like you'd be swiping through and then like before your likes run out, the last guy that you saw was the most conventionally like good looking one, and then that's what got people to, I mean, yeah, it's like a lawsuit.
Oh my God,
against Match.com, and it's done on purpose, so it becomes like this addictive. Also sometimes you know, Hinge has like the standouts. Sometimes I really just want to like go and like ask some of these guys, like, am I one of the standouts? I would love to know.
I know.
Like, could you email Hinge and be like, am I one of the standouts?
Sometimes I want to be a guy's profile so I can see what the girls' profiles look like.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
I mean, you could do it, but you have to be verified.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not actually going to do it. But
no, I'm going to do it after this.
I'm really curious to see what am I being compared to, and what are they. And I've literally had this happen to me. I'm so serious. Like, one person will talk to me and a friend at the same time, as if we're like the only one they're talking to. And we end up matching notes, and we're like, oh, we're talking to the same person. Okay, great. Next. So.
Well, but is that a bad thing?
No, but like, they seem to be like the way they are communicating with you is like, oh, you know, you seem really interesting. In my mind, if I'm communicating with you and I'm like serious about getting to know you, I don't want to continue. I'm not going to say you have to delete your app and I have to delete mine, but I want to put all my effort towards getting to know you and not distracted by everyone else. But if you're doing that and then still saying the exact same, like literally same messages to me and to this other person, it's kind of disingenuous.
What you could do is ask them every morning to send you a screenshot of their matches and make sure that you're the only one
or their messages.
You're the only one that's in the hidden section. That's an option too.
True.
I'll try and let you know how it works out. No, I would sometimes I do think about creating a guy's profile just to see who's all, like, obviously this is a different city, but like in New York, I would love to see kind of what the pool is.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I know one of the other things I wanted to see if you wanted to talk about is like the kind of unlucky in love thing. I've talked about this a lot. I actually wanted to name the podcast Unlucky in Love, but some guy was like, you know, a friend of mine was like, you know, why would you want to put that into the universe? Right. I'm like, okay, relax. It's just catchy. Like, what do you think about that? Because sometimes I feel like that about myself too, but I more so take it as like, am I unlucky in love, or do I just keep making like the same mistakes over and over again, and then I don't learn my lesson? I think I'm more of the latter.
Okay. That's I think that's a really good question. And I'm just learning myself as of recently that I always thought I was unlucky in love. I'll be completely honest. I've been divorced almost 14 years and been on the market for 14 years, never met anyone that was like, it was like anything serious. And I'm just like, is it like my luck that's why I'm single? Or is it, and this is like my realization, my light bulb moment as of recently, is that like the reason I haven't met probably anyone that's like of good substance or a quality guy that I like want to get to know, or maybe the other way around, is I think that first of all, we should never settle. And that's, I think what we're saying about like, is it the latter? Like thinking like, is it you? And I think it's not. You have high standards, and we should have high standards. So I think that understanding that it's okay to have high standards is one thing, and understanding that maybe we haven't met the right person because someone better is truly out there for us.
And I just
And you know what else you don't like. Now you
Yeah.
know what else you don't like.
Yeah.
It's that layer of like what you're actually looking for in a quality guy.
Right. I was reading this quote that was like, I think it was from the Quran or something, like, if you don't find, or it was a hadith, it was like, if you don't find your soulmate in this life, you'll find them in heaven. And I'm like, oh, is that supposed to make us feel better? Like, all right. Like, are you kidding me? So that's not helpful. No one send me quotes like that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like going to like the complete extreme. I think it's completely fine. This is so normal. I have so many friends like you that are like beautiful, successful, driven women, and they're kind of not struggling, but we're just all trying to figure it out.
And I think society tells us that we should in a way settle. Like society says you're being too picky. What does too picky mean? You have standards. Like you don't want this and you're not going to settle. Like why is that that's being too picky?
I will say though, I did talk to someone a couple of days ago and they kind of gave a different perspective of that. They said even people that presumably are 100% compatible, that relationship could fail. So it's almost like just taking a jump, maybe. Or just take the jump. Like if it's 80%, like if it's an 80-20 situation where it's like 20% of it, you're not sure if it's going to work out, but like 80% of you feels right. Take the jump. Like you never know. Like there's people that, probably don't look like they would be great matches. They end up having like great, healthy relationships.
I agree.
But it's definitely a fine balance.
But when I say like don't be picky, I'm talking about like the red flags. Like if somebody's showing you half of a red flag, it counts as a full red flag. Don't even settle.
Yeah. No,
like don't be like, oh, you know what? It's just a half a red flag. It's a yellow. I don't take yellows either. I only take green.
Yeah. I mean, I talked about this with Amina in the previous episode. Like, I have this problem where it's, I see a certain type of like quality or attribute and it masks some of the other red flags. And I'm like, oh, well, I could actually put up with that because he's really tall. But no, I agree that's bad. Give me a date gone wrong for you.
Okay. I don't have to think long about this because this date is really, really, really sticks out for me.
Oh, tell the girls.
Okay. It's not that great. But so I matched with this man on one of the apps, right? And I actually had matched with him a year ago and I wasn't interested. Mm-hmm. And when I would go off and go back on, he would keep like swiping right on me. And then one time we were chatting in the DM and he mentioned like something that made me like, you know what, maybe I should just be a little bit open-minded and give this guy a shot. So I was like, okay. He asked me to go on a date and I was like, okay, let's make it happen. And he asked me, where do you want to go? And I wanted to choose the location that I was familiar with. That way I'd walk into the situation kind of knowing the territory and feel confident, right? So I chose a restaurant locally and we show up. And first of all, he's decent looking. He's not like my type, but I was like, okay, whatever. Let's just be open-minded.
He wasn't God's favorite.
No, he was not anyone's favorite. So, anyways, so we're sitting down as soon as we sat down, and mind you, I picked out like this cute outfit. Like I was really feeling myself, but also nervous. I like went all out for this, and he shows up. He looks all right. So we sit down and he was like, why are you so nervous? It's so much easier to date you than to kill you and bury your body. And I'm like, is there something I need to think about? Like, I was like, okay.
What was your like facial reaction?
Like that. I would have been like, that was the most bizarre comment I've ever heard in my life. Like,
what the?
And I really, honestly, that was the moment I should have been like, I gotta go to the restroom.
Was he high?
He wasn't high in life. He was not high. No, he was just like dumb.
Oh my God.
And had no EQ. Like a guy with no EQ is like such a turnoff. And I was just like, whew. I'm just nervous because I'm sitting across a man who's talking about a comment like that. Like,
I mean, to give him benefit of the doubt, maybe he just finished like a Dateline episode and it was like on his mind or something.
I mean, a fact.
But still,
I was just like, who says that? Like, did you not filter it in your system before you spit that out to me? Like, okay. So we continue.
And you stayed.
Oh, I stayed.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I stayed. And he was like, by the way, he goes, by the way, he puts his hand, like we're sitting across from each other, which is even more awkward to me. I mean, I wouldn't want to sit next to him, but I'm like,
Yeah, try
I'm
to
like,
comment. Well, let me see your hands.
yeah. So he reaches over the table. He's like, by the way, you were going to pay for this because you made me chase you for a year. And next time I got you. I was sitting there, I was like, next time? Okay.
Wait, what?
And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, I mean, he's being funny. He can't be that stupid. Like I can't be that cheap. And I'm just like, huh. And I just laugh it off, right? And I continue sitting there and we're having conversation. It was like completely like surface level conversation. I was not interested in him at this point, like from the moment that he
what
talked
did it
about
for
Bury.
you? The
Bury,
murder or
the murder first.
The cheap
murder,
ass comment.
The murder and the cheap ass sealed the deal.
Yeah.
But I'm like I'm too nice, and I've learned I need to be less nice sometimes in certain situations like that. But
yeah, you are too nice.
I was way too nice, and I sat through that miserable date. And then the bill comes. Oh, and we got dessert. I didn't want dessert, but he was like, we're getting dessert. I was like, okay.
Oh my God, who is this guy?
Yeah. And so we get dessert, and I'm like, I take like a few bites, and I'm like, okay, like, I mean, he's not really going to make me pay for this because he ordered dessert too. Like, what? Like, how cheap can this man be? So then we continue. The bill comes. He's like, she's got it. And I'm thinking, I'm still in shock.
Can't believe it.
I'm still like, this is not really happening. So we get the bill. The lady's like looking at me like she wants to save me.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask what the waitress.
Oh, she wanted to save me. She felt like I looked so good. I'm sorry, I looked so good.
No, don't say sorry.
And
I'm sure you did.
And I looked so good. And this man.
Can we get the camera footage from that night? What day was it?
And I know it was. Oh my gosh! And she was like,
Ew.
she looked at me like, do you need help? Like SOS? Like what kind of signal do you need me to take from you?
She's sweet.
And I was just like. And I'm prideful. So I'm not going to like just sit there and I'm like, if you don't want to pay, like I'll freaking pay. Like it's not that. I'm not like worried about it. I work, like I can take care of myself.
Right.
But I'm thinking, okay, like this is not going to go at that level. It goes to that level. I pay for both our meals, not just mine, both our meals. Okay. And he was like, okay. So then he walks me to his car. He's like, you want to sit down for a little bit? I was like,
he walks you to his car?
Because our cars were parked next to each other.
Okay.
He wants me to sit in his car and talk to him. And I was like, talk about what? How you made me pay for our bill on a first date? And you're telling me there's going to be a next time that you're going to get my bill? Boy, bye.
Did you say that?
No.
Okay. So kind of held my tongue a bit, but
I didn't. But I was like,
this guy gave you every opportunity
to walk
to bail, and I just let him.
I literally
way too nice.
I was honestly that taught me to be a little less nice, but I was way too nice in that situation. I literally should have gone to the restroom and never come back. Like
no, I would have. No, I would have done a lot of things. One,
like what?
I would have left, like the bury you comment, or the you're gonna pay for this, or just his like low class self. He's also kind of delulu to think that you would want to like hang out with him after this
and
horrible date.
And mind you, a year or two later, I ran into him in real life again.
Really?
Randomly. I was at like an Arab concert, and
Ew.
he was sitting at a table with like a bunch of people.
Mm.
And at this point, he's blocked. Like I don't follow him on social media or anything. He DMs me on Facebook Messenger, and it comes up as a messenger. Yeah, I was like, it like shows his age. So he messaged me on Facebook Messenger, and it comes in as a request. And I'm like,
yeah, because you're
so
not
I'm not friends. So I see the request, and it's in Arabic, and I could read Arabic. It's kind of slow, but I could read it. And he's like, على فكرة أنا على الترابيزة قصادك وأنت شكلك جميل قوي.
Ew.
Like,
okay,
yeah.
So for the people that don't know Arabic, it says he's at the
table across
from you, and
you look beautiful.
You look beautiful.
And I was like, delete.
Did it show that you read it?
No, because if it's a message request, it doesn't show if they can't tell if you read it. But I just like ignored.
That's so
I was
gross.
like, you have got to have like some sort of audacity that like is like beyond this.
You're like so nice, honestly. I would have cussed this guy out like 3 times already.
No, I don't want him to think that he phased me.
Oh, I'm gonna cuss him out. No, ew.
Oh, and then I ran into him another time.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Recently, as if
is he married?
No.
Oh,
dude is so
sad.
Yeah, isn't that so sad?
Shocker.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I ran
into him. Yeah, I ran into him again, and he was with a. Actually, he was sitting by himself at this place, right? I was with my friend,
Mhm.
and my friend's like, "Oh, by the way, my friend is here, and I think he's coming with another friend, but can he sit at the table with us?" And I was just like, "Okay, like I don't know who this person is," and my back is to him, and she's sitting right here, right? And a homeboy walks up to our table, and I turn like this. I'm like, "Oh my god, it's you again!" And we both make this exchange like, "Oh shoot," And she's like, "Oh wait, do you guys know each other?" I was like, "Do we know each other?" I said, "No, yeah, we met a while ago, like a couple of years ago. He talked about burying my body and maybe even possibly not paying for my meal,
Wow.
but nothing too serious." Yeah, I didn't tell her that. I was just thinking in my head, but it was just like,
once again, too nice setup.
yeah, I was just
I would
like,
have Venmo requested his ass for half of a meal.
and then the funny thing is, I think he was embarrassed by like just he could tell I was just like, "You're pathetic." And so, but I'm not gonna like say anything in front of her. So we're like, he's like, "You know what? I think my friend is coming. When my friend comes, then we'll both come sit at your table." So it'll be the four of us sitting at the table, just talking about how life is so great and you're so weird. Like, oh my god, is he really gonna come sit with us with his friend? But he could tell, like my energy, my vibe. We're like, I am not gonna sit at the table with you. Like, I would rather be dead and buried than sit at the table with you. He walked back, walk of shame. I was so happy. And his friend came. And at this point, they're still sitting away from us.
Mhm.
And my friend and I are talking. I'm telling her all the details now. I'm like, now she knows like the whole scoop, right? And then my sister comes. She joins us for the tail end of the meeting, the tail end of the dinner. And I tell her, "You will not believe who came," because everyone in the family, like everyone that knows me, knows this story. And she's just like dying. It's hilarious. But homeboy decides to stop by before they leave, just to say, "Good seeing you guys."
Does he have any like social awareness?
He has no karma, like, and he has no pride, like nothing. Like, I was just like, "You are so pathetic." It's actually really hilarious. Anyways, so he walks up to say goodbye, and my sister's like, "This is the best night of my life," because now she has a face to the story,
to this story, yeah,
and like to this character that I've been always talking about, like as my worst dating experience of life. And it was just like,
I need to see what
it was
this
a
guy
full
looks like.
circle moment. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. So yeah, that's my story.
I need to see what this guy looks like.
It's not even about the way, even if he was like a 10 out of 10, like he had like such low class. I was like so turned off by, and actually when I saw him this time, I was like, "Oh, he's not that ugly." Like
You're way too nice.
appearance wise,
Yeah.
but I was like, but yeah,
It doesn't matter the way he like
it doesn't matter what he looks like. It's like he showed his true colors and they were red.
I think what we got to do is we got to get like a short like a list going of all these like guys and like post it up and like so girls know like who to stay away
I
from.
heard there is something like that on Facebook.
Really?
There's
man, I thought I just came up with something really clever and
it's brilliant. But I've heard that there, and now there's something for the girls too.
Wait, are we dating the same guy?
It's something like that.
Okay,
and like people go on this Facebook Messenger group and they're like,
it's, "Are we dating the same guy?"
It is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's, "Are we dating the same?"
And I think there's now, "Are we dating the same woman?" How sad is that? There's something for
honestly
women.
Loving that. I think men need to act more like women and women need to act more like men. Really think the dating game would change if women did just that. That's what I plan to do. So watch out.
Watch out.
Are we dating the same woman? Oh, I wonder if I'm on there. Could someone create an account real quick? Because I don't have Facebook anymore, but I would love to know.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even that bad. I've said it before in the episode before. I think, those pages can be a bit toxic because I do think both for women and men, I think, sometimes there's just like not a connection and that's okay. And, girls get upset, guys get upset, but sometimes you just don't connect with someone and they could, have a better connection with someone else. Not that we, like hearing don't see a connection. But you could, have gone on a date with someone and you didn't like anything about him. He gave you so many red flags, but then could talk to, a friend after and she might have like dated him as well. And she was fine with it. So, sometimes there's not a connection. And so, like, how would you feel if like a couple of the guys that you've met that are like super red flaggy, years or months down the line, you have a friend that ends up like getting with him and do you let her know like the background or you just kind of like act like naive to it?
I think I would definitely, if it depends on how close I am with the person, with
True.
my friend, right?
True.
So if I'm really close with my friend, I'm giving her the full detail, like
Right.
full scoop, like 100%, like
Mhm.
transparency. If it's somebody that I don't know that well, but I feel like I really need to hint at her, like,
Mhm.
yo, you might want to do your background check on this dude. Like,
Right.
I did it and it wasn't that great. So I might like give her a little bit of a heads up, not too much in depth, because at the end of the day, it's her choice and it's what she wants to do. But if it's my close friend, I am giving them the full detail, and if it's up to me, I am closing the account for them, like telling them don't deal with this person. Like I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure they don't match with that person for life. Like don't marry that person.
And what do you do if they still don't listen to you?
Well, I mean, if they still don't listen to me, at the end of the day, I gave them all of the important
Right.
information,
It's
and
not your-
it's not my prerogative. At
Yeah.
that point, it's like I've given you all the details, I've given you the scoop. If you still want to be with this person, that's on you, boo.
Right. Right. So I think you have another horror story for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us.
Oh, it's pretty horrific. So I matched with this guy.
Mm.
I don't know, like 4 or 5. It was before the pandemic.
Oh,
it was like
okay.
2019. And I was like so attracted. So he was like what I was looking for as far as physical and as far as like he had a good career and all of that, and he lived locally.
Mm.
And so I was just like, oh my gosh, this might be the one. I remember going on so many dates with him back to back to back, and my parents my parents were like, okay, Soda, like you're taking it too fast. Like you're no, don't take that part out.
Yeah.
But
Take it out.
they'll be like, sort of like, you still don't know
Say
this
it again.
person.
Say the parents part.
Okay, so my parents were at one point, they were like, okay, Soda, like, take it easy. Like, you need to get to know this person a little bit longer before you're like going on to back-to-back dates with them. Like, give yourself a little bit of a break to really assess the situation.
Right.
But I'm like, no, I really want to get to know him, And then one day we're texting, and then it goes green. He had an iPhone, and all of a sudden our messages go green. I was like, did this man
get an Android,
or did he block me?
Oh,
I'm thinking he blocked me.
Oh,
and I'm like,
sad.
I was like, okay, not being rejected. Like, I didn't want to be rejected. Like, and I was just like, what did I do? And I knew I didn't do anything wrong. So I was just like, yeah. So I'm very like savvy. I did a little Google research. Homeboy's mugshot pops up, and he basically was on the run from the FBI, from federal agents. He was on the loose and escaping the federal government for 14 counts of forgery, for taking a company check and forging it 14 times.
To be honest, I would say that was a little bit of a letdown. I thought it was going to be a more like,
I'm sorry, like
a bigger crime. I'm sorry that. Sorry, it was like. I'm not saying it's okay, but I thought she was about to say something crazy, like
to me,
14 counts of forgery.
Yeah, so I saw his mugshot. I was like, oh man, he really was a good-looking guy.
So he was on the loose, but
he was on the loose, and then he didn't make it. He was trying to go from Canada to wherever he came from, and he didn't make it. They caught him, and he was back in jail. Then homeboy messages me. He gets like bailed out or something. He messages me, and I was like, by the way, I know you were in jail. I saw all of that information.
Wait, what was the first message that he sent to you, though?
I don't know. It was such a long time ago. It was like before the pandemic. But he was just like, hey. I was like, hey, convicted felon. I didn't say it like that. I was just like, I kind of was like, I was just like, I know what you did last summer type. And he was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna talk to you. You're a convicted felon. Like that's like way big red flag. Like, I'm sorry, that's a whole red banner. Like, I can't.
But you know,
I was like,
innocent until proven guilty.
No, but I was just like, you are so handsome, but like, I'm not that desperate, and I'm not going to stoop to that level. Like, I've got better things to do with my life.
So where's his trial at? Did he found guilty?
I have no idea.
What if he wasn't found guilty?
I don't deal with people that have mugshots on the internet still till this day.
I'm just saying, could have been, I'll say that's quite a commitment for someone to still be talking with a girl on the apps while on the run. That's a level of commitment I haven't seen from men that just do their 9 to 5. So we'll give him that at least.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that is bold. And
I wonder whatever happened to him.
Well, I don't know. His mugshot is still online though.
All right, guess we'll send a PDF after this with all of this information.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's probably the wildest dating story I've ever had.
It's crazy.
And then my parents were like, "I told you so.
Oh,
I
wow.
told you so." I'm like, I don't want to hear that right now. Please give me some grace.
Yeah. Um,
Because I was at dinner one night and I was like, "Oh, you guys remember that person I was talking to? This is him." And they're like,
I bet they were like, you sure know how to pick them?
pretty much.
We talked a lot about like some dating flops. When is it, do you ever find like you're talking to someone and you're like really into it and like they're really into it and you kind of start feeling a certain type of way like, oh, this is a little bit,
Too much.
it's giving me the ick. Like, where is that like line for you?
Definitely had that happen to me so many times. And it just depends. Like, it's like, how into the guy am I? And if he's like doesn't have any sort of like pride, or as far as like he's just really going for it, and like I'm showing him that I'm not that interested. I'm like somewhat interested, but I'm not like that interested. To me, it gets to that ick level when they're like just trying too hard. It's almost like, do you, and also like a guy that's like always like trying to talk to you. You think it sounds great, but like you don't have anything better to do with your day. Like you don't have some work to do, a workout, like read a book. Like I don't read, but like read a book, like anything. Like you don't have anything else to do. All you're gonna do is like message me, call me. You want to talk FaceTime like the whole time. Like I'm like, that's too much.
No, like it's funny you say that too because I kind of go between the two. Like I'll have like someone who's really nice to me, is like really respectful, but I'm just like, no. And then I'll have like a guy that literally leaves me breadcrumbs and like never has terrible communication skills, gives me the bare minimum, but there's something where I'm like, no, like, and then my ego, I think it's like an ego thing. My ego gets burned so bad. It's like that one affects me way more when I have like five other people that I'm having a healthy conversation with, but it's that one that's like
it rubs you the wrong way.
Yeah, and I just
in your head.
It definitely is a form of toxicity that we or me are like, wow, just fixate over the guy that's giving you breadcrumbs that's like not nice to you.
I don't know what that, and that means like we have unresolved issues, and I've definitely
yeah.
definitely
I think it's a
been
fear
in
of commitment.
situations like that. I've been like, oh well, this guy said good morning like 10,000 hours later. Like, oh, maybe he was just busy. Like I give him so many excuses, but like the guy that's like showing consistency, I'm like, you're all right. I'm not really interested. But the guy that's giving you the breadcrumbs, you're just like, oh, what if he was just busy? Like, and you just want it to work so bad. Like you don't realize your worth almost.
Yeah, I've become like a master storyteller. If someone doesn't respond back timely, I come up with this entire story like, oh well, maybe his his tire went flat. Maybe he got a call and his mom's sick. Maybe he
too many excuses.
He was on a flight and it got delayed, and maybe he dropped his phone in the Hudson River. I literally come up with the most insane excuses
for them. So true.
We really gotta stop doing that.
We really do.
And then like a little bit back to that double standard you're talking about, like similarly, if you are talking to a guy who is very attentive via text and is like you feel like he is texting timely, you're kind of like thinking, why does he have the time to versus others? Was talking to a guy recently and we were very blunt with each other and it was kind of nice and enlightening. Talked a bit about like I kind of was giving him examples of like what me and my friends do, which is not really a game, but it's also like how do you make someone more like the chasing piece where it's like you don't respond right away, you leave them unread a bit just to kind of make them want more, and like, but I don't like that because I don't know if it's like my anxious like piece of my personality, but like if have my phone and someone messages me and I have the time to respond, I'm gonna respond. That's just who I am. And it's not to say like if you're not doing it like that, there's like you're playing games or anything. I just like that's who I am. And so I'm not going to read something and then like be sitting on my couch
and like overanalyze and be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to respond like in like 30 minutes just so they can wait. I'm not like that.
Yeah. Like why? Like if you want to have a healthy conversation, if you're both waiting 30 minutes to reply back, like you're never going to have a conversation.
So true.
You could save so much time to have like a quick, like back and forth for
and you can 30 minutes in the relationship. Go on about your day. Actually like
exactly
reciprocating it. Whatever the energy that the person is giving you.
Exactly. You don't need to talk all day, but if it's like a healthy conversation for a good part of the day, then we move on. Yeah, I don't like games. It's exhausting.
So true.
And trying to like time it
for games. Too old for games.
Yeah, like trying to time it. Like, oh, it took them 20 minutes to respond back. It should take me 25. So we talked a lot today. I think I definitely learned a lot from you. Would like the pictures of these guys so I can steer clear.
Oh, yeah,
maybe not the one in prison, but you don't know if he's in prison. He could be
out on the loose,
Yeah.
or he could have been let go,
Wrongfully
an
convicted.
innocent man. But I just don't deal with people that have mugshots still out there. I mean, this was before the pandemic, and his mugshot is still online. So it's like,
oh man,
I'm sorry, I can't.
I didn't have the money
to get that.
scrub that from Google. Well, I will say you definitely made me feel a lot better because it seems like it's not just New York where there's these
Crazy
dating
cool.
issues.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get there.
Yes, we are.
It'll be fine. We're learning, and that's kind of the point of these talks. And so, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
joining
I
me.
learned a lot about you
Yes.
too, and I learned from you. So I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Also, the gag is we're cousins.
Hey!
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Yeah.